Hello, and thank you for listening today as we talk more about pulse dose technology. Now, many of you are familiar with oxygen concentrators, which most commonly come with a continuous flow model. So these are the big oxygen concentrators that many of you have in your homes or that you've seen at the hospital or with your home care providers. These deliver oxygen on continuous flow. So continuous flow is when oxygen is being delivered continuously. It does not matter if you are inhaling, exhaling, talking, breathing, listening. You're always getting oxygen through typically a cannula. The way to do this is using a fairly large oxygen concentrator so that it has the ability to always be delivering that continuous flow of oxygen that you need. The other form of delivering oxygen to you is what's called pulse dose technology. Pulse dose technology is when oxygen is delivered only when you inhale. So oftentimes people are wondering, how is that possible? So pulse dose oxygen concentrators deliver oxygen, what's called a bolus, a small amount of oxygen only when you inhale. And there is a trigger sensor that they have, and that sensor goes off when you inhale. So sometimes people wonder, how is it possible that an oxygen concentrator that's only delivering oxygen to me when I inhale is giving me the same amount of oxygen as a continuous flow oxygen concentrator? So there's a lot of math that is used to go into exactly the algorithm that a pulse dose oxygen concentrator uses to ensure that when you're at setting 1, it is the equivalent of 1 liter per minute. Let's take a look at how exactly that works. Okay, so let's start with drawing a breath curve. So a normal breath curve, we have dead time, then we have inhalation, and we have exhalation. So over here is our inhalation, and over here is our exhalation. What a stationary concentrator does is it delivers oxygen continuously, as we said. So it does not matter when you are inhaling or exhaling. Stationary concentrators, constant airflow happening during the time of inhalation, exhalation, time that you're talking, etc. So when we talk about a portable oxygen concentrator, this point right here, this inhalation is where that trigger sensitivity that we were talking about goes off. So the machine, because of that trigger sensor, as soon as you inhale, starts delivering the bolus of oxygen. So if we look at our inhalation curve, it's actually split a little bit more than this. The last 33% of it is what we call anatomical dead space. During this anatomical dead space, no oxygen enters your lungs. So our whole goal when we're trying to saturate a patient, keep their SpO2 levels high, is to deliver oxygen during the time of inhalation so that it gets into the lungs. So let's take a look at the math. We are going to start with some assumptions. Our first assumption is that we will have 20 breaths per minute. So that is our breath rate. This equals 3 seconds for each breath. We are going to take an inhalation to exhalation ratio of 1 to 2. This means in this 3 seconds, 1 second is for inhalation and 2 seconds is for exhalation. So we have 1 second of inspiration. If we have a 2-liter oxygen concentrator, so a prescription on 2 liters per minute, if we break that down, what exactly is 2 LPM mean? This means 2,000 milliliters are being delivered for every minute. So if we take this number and we divide it by 60 seconds, we get 33 milliliters per second. So a continuous flow oxygen concentrator is delivering 33 milliliters for every second within a minute And if we compare that to our 20 breaths per minute breath rate, that means that on a continuous oxygen concentrator, we get 33 milliliters of oxygen that's entering our lungs during this period of inhalation. So now, if we take this one step further, we are going to take our 33 milliliters, we are going to multiply that times 2/3 or 0.66, and we are going to multiply that times 0.9. We do this 0.9 because that is a typical oxygen concentrator's purity. So our oxygen purity is about 90%. So in all of this equals approximately 19 milliliters of oxygen actually entering the lungs. So when you are comparing this to a portable oxygen concentrator, what you want to look at is when we're at 20 breaths per minute, a good portable oxygen concentrator, that bolus that we're talking about should be at least 19 milliliters or more. And that is how a portable oxygen concentrator delivers the same amount on setting 2 as a continuous oxygen concentrator would. Thanks for tuning in.